Renting property or becoming a landlord in Ontario involves a myriad of legal considerations and responsibilities. Today, we're delving into the Ontario Residential Tenancies Act to discuss both the responsibilities and the rights for landlords and tenants. So, whether you're a first-time renter or a seasoned landlord, understanding these regulations is crucial for a smooth and successful rental experience. Hey there, welcome to my channel soldbynatemapp. Today we're diving into the most important topic for both landlords and tenants in Ontario, and is the Residential Tenancies Act. This legislation is the foundation of the landlord-tenant relationship in Ontario, governing everything from lease agreements to eviction proceedings. Understanding your rights and responsibilities under this act is crucial. So, let's break it down. First off, let's get into what the Residential Tenancies Act entails. So this legislation is also referred to as the RTA, and it establishes the rights and obligations for both landlords and tenants throughout the entire rental process. It covers a wide range of topics, including rent, maintenance, evictions, and more. So by familiarizing yourself with the RTA, you'll be better equipped to navigate the rental market in Ontario. To all my tenants out there, as a tenant, it's essential that you're aware of your rights under the Residential Tenancies Act. One key aspect is the requirement for a landlord to provide tenants with the written lease. This is not just any paper that you write on, handwrite saying, hey, so-and-so is renting this property for 1 year in the basement. No. Since April 30th, 2018, landlords must use the Ontario Standard Form of Lease, the OSFL, for most residential tenancies. This standard lease form ensures that both parties have clear understandings for their rights and their responsibilities to help prevent any misunderstandings or disputes down the line. The Ontario Provincial website has this document, and I'm going to link it in the description below. Another crucial right for tenants is the right to habitable living environment. This means that landlords are responsible for making sure that the property is in a good state of repair and it meets all health and safety standards. For example, if you have a leaky roof or if your heat's not working, as a tenant, it is your responsibility to make sure the landlord is aware that this is happening, and it's the landlord's responsibility for ensuring that this gets fixed promptly for the tenant's well-being. Now, landlords have rights too under the RTA, including the right to access their rental for certain purposes. For instance, the landlord needs to make repairs or conduct inspections or even show the unit to prospective tenants with the prior notice. This right helps landlords ensure the upkeep of their property and that it maintains its value. Now let's discuss the eviction process under the RTA. If a landlord wishes to evict a tenant, they must provide the tenant with written notice specifying the reason for the eviction and the date in which the tenant must vacate the premises. The notice period varies depending on the reason, but typically it varies between 14 and 60 days, and sometimes the landlord may even have to provide the tenant with a month rent. On the other hand, if a tenant wishes to terminate their tenancy, they must also provide written notice that they're going to be leaving their rental property. The notice period can vary. Typically, I would say anywhere 60 days to 90 days, but this depends on what the lease agreement is. And providing proper notice allows for both parties to plan accordingly, and it ensures a smooth transition from one tenant to the next, and even from the tenant currently living there into their new property. If you don't mind, I'm going to rant for a second, because there's a real problem in Ontario with landlords getting rid of tenants for whatever reason they want. Sometimes I'm noticing that landlords and tenants aren't entering into legal leases. For example, they're not providing the OSFL, maybe because a tenant doesn't know. However, some landlords are kicking their tenants out without the correct notice or without any sort of reason as to why they're leaving. Landlords, you must give a reasonable explanation as to why you are evicting your tenant. You cannot evict your tenant because they eat meat, they eat eggs, they have a dog. This is not a reason as to why you are evicting your tenants unless you're in a condo and the condo rules specifically state that they cannot do certain things. You can't evict your tenant because you simply don't like them. That's not how it works. So keep in mind, always know your rights. This concludes our in-depth exploration of the Ontario Residential Tenancies Act. So whether you're a tenant or a landlord, understanding your rights and responsibilities with this legislation is fundamental to a successful tenancy. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more soldbynatemapp for valuable real estate insights. And if you have any questions, any comments, or if you have any stories about your experience with the RTA, please leave a comment below and share this video with others so that they're more aware and they're educated of what their rights are under the Residential Tenancies Act.